Hey, welcome back to BIZ Talk TV. I'm your business guide and host, Michael Rager, here on the BIZ Talk TV show on Now Media and Television. One of my favorite times of the show right now, my buddy Leo Simpson. Leo, how are you today?
Doing well, my man. How about yourself?
I'm great, man. I'm great. You've got a really good topic today because, we got the Final Four in Houston this week, and it's all about winning. All right? So the teams that win big, and life changes. But we're going to talk about winning big in business and how it can really, really affect your family. So before we get deep, let's talk a little bit. How do we win big in business, Leo?
I mean, you know exactly how we do that. We're
I
coaches,
know,
we're trainers, we're speakers, and the focus about winning big in business really comes down to the mindset that we have about it. It comes down to the investment that we put into it and the intentionality that we place in regard to making a difference. Interestingly, in the management class that I'm teaching at Lone Star Montgomery, one of the things we're talking about is the importance of how we deal with problem solving and also how we deal with decision making. And one of the main things that we are emphasizing, especially because you and I have that background with the John Maxwell strategies, is that there is a huge difference between leadership and management. So many people deal with management from the perspective that it focuses on, getting things done. It is, but it's getting things done through people. And what I've made sure to communicate to my teammates, that's what I call them, not students, because of the context that we're approaching this term. And that is that management deals with processes and things, and it deals with force, right? But leadership, it deals with people and thoughts, and it's dealing in the level or the arena of finesse. Now, I say all of that to convey that when we win big in business, we do so because we are strategic, we're intentional, we're focused, we're very methodical, we invest in our learning, we invest in our systems, we invest in our tools. Our measures are important, our mechanics are important. We seek to create momentum. Like, that's how we win big in business, and we do so with a very defined approach. And so when it comes to those who really want to make it happen in business, you got to do so with that which is predictably productive all the time. And people always have that saying that success leaves clues. It does. And guess what? If success leaves clues, we got to know it does not just in business, it does in other areas too.
So how do we take that success in business and take it into the family? Because as we talk all the time, Leo, people think that if we're going to be successful in business, it means we're really busy, we're missing out on stuff, and that's why people hire people like me and you to help them get back into the family. So how do we take those big wins and take them home?
We've talked about this over the last few weeks, and two things that I've shared. One, that family life and business life are meant to be teammates, which that starts at the level of how you think about it. And when it comes to winning big in business, it's how you think about it that helps you to win big. And so the first thing you have to do is translate, that's that big word, we'll come back to it later, translate the perspective and the approach that you are utilizing in business to the family life. And it starts with having the right perspective of they are meant to be teammates, not opponents. The other thing is, it's important to understand that business requires more time than family life. Family life requires more of a quality of time than quantity, and vice versa with regard to the aspects of business life. It's not the exact same, but there is one thing that it requires more, which is time, a quantity of it more than a quality of it. And so you got to know how to deal with it systematically, strategically. And when you do that, you put yourself in a position to be able to understand and pursue value from both. And I think a lot of times what happens is people, they think that family life is kind of just stripping the value from their life rather than it really providing value, because they tend to feel like business life is just funding family life, or it's just kind of getting in the way or imposing. Some people think like that, not all, but there's the tendency to really not really know how to mesh well between the two because of how one thinks about them. We think about business from a very, again, intentional and strategic perspective. we need to do the same with family. And it starts with understanding the way we intentionally approach business. Hey, we can also intentionally approach family that way.
Well, I love it. So, what's a strategy that we can use to leverage the two? You know, how do we take a strategy from business and move it to family and vice versa to really make things get the way we want it to be?
Absolutely. You heard me use that word translate. So
I
you
knew
got
that
to
was
kind
coming
of
back.
look at it. Say again?
I knew that word was coming back.
It was going to come back. You got to translate. You got someone who speaks Spanish, you got someone who speaks English. Guess what? You got to translate between the two. Once you get an even playing field of clarity and understanding between the communication, now everybody's on the same page. And when it comes to business life, the way we win, the approach we take to winning, the thought process we have about winning, you translate that to the family. At a minimum, go in saying, I'm going to win. I said this, I think, last time. I said too many people, they go to work expecting to win, but they go back home or they leave home with a losing perspective. That just should not be. So you got to start with saying, hey, I plan on being great at home. I plan on winning at home. Matter of fact, I plan on winning big at home. And the way you do that is starting with that perspective of saying, let me translate the focus and commitment that I have over here to over here. Even though there's some different dynamics, let me give the same approach, commitment, perspective. And when I do so, I'm going to be in a position to where I can literally begin to see the emergence of excellence. Hey, at a minimum, if I believe I'm going to win, guess what? You put yourself on the trajectory to win.
Yeah, it's one of my mentors, Brad Sugars, at the time when I worked for him. He used to have this mantra when we came into the office. We had to sit there and read it out on our balcony out loud about that put our mind in the right place that we're at work, and we're at work to do what we can do to be great at work. But then we also had another one that when we left and once we got in our car to leave, we had to leave this one to say, hey, I'm leaving work behind me, and now I'm going home to be the greatest person I can be at home. So I think those are some great strategies. So Leo, if people want to get a hold of you and learn some more of these things, how do they get a hold of you, my friend?
Team3l.com. Very easy. You'll be able to get to all my social media, see what we're doing, be able to connect with some of our activities that we've already done and getting ready to do. More than anything, you'll be able to get some value to understand that family life and business life are able to operate in tandem with each other and be able to win big. I said this yesterday on a post I did on my Instagram. I said, listen, I'm going to give you $10 million. Do you want it? Okay, great. Here's what you need to do, though. Decide not to wake up tomorrow. You got to agree not to wake up tomorrow any other day. And guess what? Most people are going to reject that 10 million. Why? Because they know that just waking up, I'm not even talking about having life holistically, just waking up is more valuable than any amount of money. Well, it's the same thing. When it comes to our family life is so valuable, but we will give our best effort to the very focus of our business life and professional life and not give an ounce in some regards of greatness and commitment to winning like we do over there. If you do that, it will change the game, and that's what we want people to experience.
All right, brother, man. I love it. I love it. I love every week we get a chance to talk. I'll talk to you soon, Leo. This is Michael Rager, your business guide here on Now Media Television. We're going to be back with a little bit more about winning and winning in life and business right after this.